Alright, what's up everybody? How's it going? It's Berk, aka Dansg08 here, and welcome to another Final Fantasy X Randomizer live stream. Hope you can all see and hear the stream. Just confirm that as usual before we actually kick things off. Alrighty. Excellent. Yeah, I sound a little bit better than I did yesterday. I recorded a Final Fantasy I session yesterday, and the last like 2 or 3 days I've had a very minor cold. Like my nose has been running a bit, I've been sneezing a little, and I'm kind of like hovering over being ill. I'm not fully ill, but I got pretty close, but I think I might have been able to avoid it. So yeah, hopefully should sound relatively normal for today's session. Okay, so as always, let's kind of go over what's been going on. I have been very busy, so for this session at least, I've not been able to do any kind of prep work in advance for it. We're going to kind of just look at the situation together and see what kind of progress we can make for this one. Now, what I remember is that we basically beat all of the original creations, and we literally only had Nemesis left for the Monster Arena, because we have spent a lot of time here. And I would love to make it out of the Monster Arena in this session. So that's going to be the goal. Now, I haven't changed too much from last time. I just fired the game up to make sure everything's kind of working. And I gave myself 99 of all the items again, because we're probably going to have to start really customizing things. I've kind of held off customization mostly. And I think we've kind of reached the end of that. We're really going to need some customization, I think, moving forward. So, yeah, the goal for this session will first of all be to try and beat Nemesis, and if we manage that, then of course it is the final journey to try and defeat all of the Dark Aeons if we can. So, that's the goal. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me once again. This will be the last stream until the end of the month, so the next one that would be scheduled for like mid-October, I'm going to be in Japan during that one. So I'm obviously not going to be able to stream, unfortunately. As much as I would love to stream live from Japan, I'm not taking my entire setup there to be able to do something like that. So I'll be back for the end of the month. So hopefully we'll be able to continue things at the end of the month. So yeah, this is the last one for a few weeks. Okay, so what we need to do is kind of, I think we just kind of need to fight Nemesis and see, can we even survive anything? Because generally what we've been trying to do is kind of build a setup using what little we can use of the sphere grid to see if like certain characters like Auron, for example, can be made into more of a tanky type character, survive a few things, have some more HP, and basically see if he can kind of stay alive. Problem is, if he can't, against Nemesis with these stats, if he literally can't survive anything with like double HP, protect, shell, all of that kind of stuff, then basically it's a non-starter, so we kind of have to forget about all of that stuff. So we'll have to have a look. So that's where we're going to generally begin things. How long is this one? It's going to be the same as always, roughly. Should be about 3 hours. So we will see. Tends to always be 3. So sometimes I go over. I almost never go less than 3. I try to give everybody their money's worth and go for 3 hours. And sometimes we do an extra like 15-20 minutes if we need it. But yeah, 3 hours will be roughly the target. So for now at least, we're kind of in full test mode. We kind of need to survey the battlefield and see what we're working with. And then from there, we'll kind of decide how we're going to move. So yeah, so there's still things like Riku doesn't even know any other overdrive modes. We're going to need Comrade overdrive mode for Riku, for example. So there's still like some stuff that we need moving forward, but I'm more interested in kind of assessing what we're going to do in terms of defense. I have a feeling basically everything Nemesis does will wipe out even Auron. So I think this whole like trying to get Auron to survive hits, I think is going to be a little bit of a non-starter. So let's use this trick that we use with the supercharge to swap characters out and in to get the overdrive back, because obviously you should be coming into this fight with an overdrive. Also, the battle theme is working, as usual. It's weird, I had one of the videos that I did, like, for the VODs, there was so much editing to do that I kind of gave up trying to remove the battle theme because the whole copyright thing. And for some weird reason, one or two of the VODs last time had the battle theme in them, but they didn't have a copyright issue. It's the first time in ages that it kind of somehow made it through. I don't know if it's just lucky or it's going to get scanned again later. I really don't know, but in any case, nah, again, it's just not working. Yeah, so for now, I'm on a bit of a streak of it not picking up, so maybe I get lucky again. Who knows? Right. 176 luck. Yeah, Carithian's right. It's been very hit and miss for the Monster Arena, but it's held up pretty well for like normal random encounters and the main playthrough. Now... where do we start? Let's try some of this. Then again, we really should be building armors before we even start any of this. We really should be building armors like auto haste and stuff, but we're just kind of gonna assess damage for now. So Orange should have auto protect already, right? Yeah. Okay. Just kill it already. Just we're gonna Zanmato. But yeah, we don't even have the turns. Like without auto haste, we can't get ourselves set up properly. So this isn't that great. Maybe we get lucky and Orange survives the first. Well, he won't because he's... Maybe Ethereal Cannon happens first. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Oof, 21,518. Oh man, that's so rough. Because even with double HP, auto protect, and 5 times cheer, he still dies. That ain't good. Okay. So that's kind of all we need to know already. Like, we're done with this attempt at this point. So Oren doesn't survive anyway. But as you guys have said, he's not far off. He is definitely very close. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. I think if Oren's dead. Just as a very quick recap, because there's always some people that might be watching that haven't been following along as much and wondering, well, why don't we just have better stats? Basically, we're just using the character's own sphere grid portion, so we're not breaking any locks to access anybody else's parts of the grid. So it's like an extra self-imposed challenge. And admittedly, at this stage, the randomizer aspect of it doesn't really matter as much. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. So we're going to probably do it like that. Now, the question is, do we do it like this, or do we basically just rely on Hyper Mighty G / Auto Life stuff? I mean, it might not be a good idea to have Oren in there at all. We might have to go kind of old school like this. This is the day Hyper Vitality Mix finally has a purpose. Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much one of the best ways to defeat Nemesis when you're underpowered is to really just utilize Hyper Mighty G a lot and survive using that. So Waka and Tidus can still do pretty good damage, I think. And Riku can cast Hyper Mighty G. And to be fair, I guess technically because of the randomizer, Waka does have auto life, so maybe we can play around a little bit with having... like if he has auto haste and stuff, maybe he can use 3 stars and then auto life some people. Maybe that works. So first of all, let's see how much damage these guys are doing. One thing we can't do, I think, is basically use overdrives against Nemesis, because he counters any overdrive with an Ultima, and we are most definitely not building anything that's going to survive Ultima on the counter. So what we can't do is spam attack reels for the win for this one, so we are going to have to, I think, grind him down. Now, let's see the damage. 63,000. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, 10 million HP, but 63 is pretty good. Okay. So basically, I think we can beat this guy without surviving any of its attacks. So we're going to have like Auto Phoenix. We're going to build some armors and stuff. So this is going to be instantaneous. And then for Ultra Spark and for Armageddon, we're basically just going to survive with... it's a nice crit there. We're going to survive with Hyper Mighty Guard / Auto Life. Maybe break damage limit plus piercing weapons would actually do you better here. Yeah, so for anyone wondering why they're not doing absolute max damage as Ultra Spark completely wipes us out. Yeah, I think getting Auron to try and tank that as well, I'm not sure that's really gonna work. So I think trying to create some kind of Auron tank for this one, we're still gonna die, I think, from Ultra Spark and stuff, so we're gonna need to rely a lot on Auto Life / Hyper Mighty G anyway. But yeah, for anyone wondering why, as Karifian said, break damage limit plus piercing might actually be better, is because Nemesis does have like the armored status, which reduces damage by a factor of 2/3. And so these guys would normally be doing about 180,000 damage, but it gets reduced all the way down because of that status. And the Celestial weapons do not ignore that status. But if you had piercing, it would, so it might work better. As James gives 5 memberships. Thank you so much, James. The Hall of Famer James. So, I think to test out Karifian's suggestion, why don't we do that? Variable steel, let's shove. I mean, what else would even be useful? Triple over. Well, we're not going to use overdrive on him, really. Honestly, first strike, break damage limit, piercing. I'm not sure we need much more. Well, strength plus 20, I guess, maybe. So let's just throw this on there. This is just, again, like another little test here. At this stage, we're obviously completely just manipulating all of the items and all the inventory and just finding ways to win. Damage limit, piercing. Maybe like evading counters better, but we'll just literally change that on the fly. It's not too important. For now, at least, we're just going to look at the damage and see what happens. So, yeah, they have very comparable strength. Let's see what the difference in damage is going to be. So for me, at least, this kind of stuff is very much also the fun side of playing this game, like running these kinds of tests. Helps you learn more about the game. Onat, welcome to the Shoe Puff Riders. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I wondered if Karifian had got his damage calculator out. It doesn't seem like he has yet. So we're going to test this in real time. Wait, why does it look like a Brotherhood? Do all Excaliburs look like that? What? Surely that ain't right. Obviously, when you kind of like hack inventory in and stuff, like things can get weird like that, like have the wrong name or have the wrong look possibly, but is it? Is that always a thing? Excaliburs look like Brotherhoods? Holy shit, I did not realize that. It's been a long time since I used one. Okay, let's have a look at the damage. Oh, 52,000. So unfortunately, Karifian was... Well, he wasn't sure anyway, but you do outdamage it a little bit with the Celestials instead here. So unfortunately, not the case. So once again, it's back to the drawing board. Honestly, let me think. Let's flee out of here first. I think the argument for piercing weapons was to avoid the penalty when at lower HP. Yeah, that's also true. That's another reason they can be very good. Although I think their HP is so low, and if I do use Riku, she's not going to really do anything other than Hyper Mighty Guard because she has no attacking stats here. So I might just spam like Mega Potions with her or something. So I think at this stage, what I want to try is basically have Auto Haste plus Auto Phoenix for these 3. And then maybe customize a specific weapon for Riku. Like her God Hand is not going to be particularly useful here. We're not going to use her for damage. So, hold on. I think that's where we're going to start here, in terms of trying to build a realistic strategy that has a chance of working. So, let me... have another look here. So, we're going to start by... yeah, we're definitely going to do alchemy for Riku. I think we're going to make her a new weapon. But for Tidus and Waka, I don't think they need much more than Auto Haste and Auto Phoenix maybe for now. So we'll do Auto Haste. And Auto Phoenix. And at this stage, we're going to need to get that far plane program working so that we can hack in some more items on the fly. For me, at least, this is so much better than Final Fantasy X editor, FFX Ed, because obviously I can just literally do this on the fly. Yeah, true, you could also hack the ability, that's a good point. Yeah, for the last one, maybe I'll do it that way. I'm so used to just hacking items back in, but that's another way to do it. So that's that one. And then we're going to give Riku one as well. Auto Phoenix. So let's see if we can hack this ability in. The only advantage, I think, of doing it with the items is that you retain like the correct equipment name and look, but obviously it's literally just cosmetic. Doesn't matter too much. And well, depending on what you're doing, maybe it's a little bit quicker. I don't know. So bear with me here while I look for the right thing. Auto haste. Yeah, honestly, maybe it's just quicker to hack them in, the items. Anyway. So those 3, I don't even really think I need much more in terms of armor, because things like Ultra Spark are just going to kill us anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Whoops, it's wrong. I saw haste and I just instantly went for it. Okay. So we'll swap this back to that bulk for now. And then we're going to make a new weapon for Riku, I think. Literally doesn't need great damage limit or anything like that. Okay, this is nice. Already overdrive. Add a first strike, why not? We'll add alchemy. Anything else? There were tricks like, I think, Magic Boost or Magic plus 20, bringing people back with more HP from Auto Life, but I'm not sure it's really that relevant for this fight. I'm not really sure any ability is. Yeah. Yeah, not really sure. She doesn't really have any... Does she have any abilities that I might use for MP? Let's see. Power Break Mug, Flee, Focus, Jinx, Bear Change, Double Cast, Null Frost, Slow. Nah, not really. So she wouldn't benefit from 1 MP cost either. Honestly, could just leave it like that, I think, for now. Double cast Null Frost. Okay. So, I think she probably also benefits from Comrade Overdrive mode. But I think just as like an early test to see if this is going to work, we can still have a run at this and see what happens. 2 bashes at the tail end of the auto fiends priority list. That is true. So I think we're going to make up for that by just spamming a lot of mega potions. I think that is too much. As I say, she doesn't really have much else to do for her turns. Like if she doesn't need to use Hyper Mighty G or something, she kind of doesn't need to do anything. So I'm gonna bring these items up to the top to make mixing quicker. This is like no Sphere Grid Dark Aeon stuff, where you knew that you would have to use Riku's mix all the time, and to save you scrolling through the entire item inventory every time, you just leave them near the top. I think that's basically all we need at this point. Okay. So, let me just quickly put a fresh save in here. Yeah, I haven't been able to play the Coryphean mod at all, unfortunately. I've just been too busy with all the other content. Been trying to get everything done and prepped before I leave for Japan next week. So it's about just over 2 weeks worth of videos I needed to like edit, render, upload, prepare everything in advance. So there hasn't been any time for the Masters mod, unfortunately. But I have made quite a lot of progress. So plenty of content to come from that. We're only just getting started. Okay. Now, look at those turns now. So much better. Everyone's top tier agility plus the auto haste. It's looking better. And yes, while I'm gone, the premieres will also continue. It's unlikely I'll be able to tune in to a couple of them, but how many actually? I think it's 3 that I'm going to miss. One of them I'm literally going to be flying, and the other 2 I'll be in Japan, and with the time zones, it's probably not going to be ideal. But we'll see. I'll try my best, but I have kind of prepped them as premieres, so it should be fine. Yeah, Francisco, to be honest, you're right. As long as Coryphean's there, he's the star of the show for those premieres. Now, let's try and focus a little bit here. What are we doing? We basically... So, the way it goes for Nemesis, for anyone who doesn't know, I literally have the Ultimate Companion Guide pulled up here just to make it easier to refer to. There's 2 threats here. The first is the Ultra Spark move that you've already seen. That's literally a wipeout. And the second is, of course, Armageddon. But Armageddon is somewhat predictable because it operates off a counter. Now, these kind of things are always extra annoying when you're trying to live stream and like check the chat and interact with people. Like trying to focus on what the current counter is at, you can lose track incredibly easily. So I'm not sure I'm going to be particularly good at that. But if I had to guess, I would say there's going to be some people in the chat, like Coryphean, that are probably going to be good at keeping count. The way it goes is that if the counter reaches 20, the next turn is guaranteed to be Armageddon. So if it's 20 or more, Armageddon is the next turn. And in terms of what increases the counter, if you see Nemesis use Ethereal Cannon or Ultra Spark, it goes up by 2 points each. If it uses its physical attack as part of like a chain of decision chain that it has, I'm not going to get too deep into it, that's a +2. And if it uses just a regular attack outside of that chain, it's a +3. So it's not the easiest thing to track if you, I mean, it's the kind of thing that without this kind of guide, I'm not sure you'd really know what you were looking for. But that's generally how it works. And I think to do this right, knowing when Armageddon's going to happen is probably quite important. So let's just give it a run anyway and see how we do. What I do know is that basically based on this, there is like no chance of Ultra Spark being the first turn. And once Ultra Spark, basically you won't see an Ultra Spark before you see an Ethereal Cannon. So there's a few things there that will help you at least get an idea of when to expect things like Ultra Spark and Armageddon. So for now at least, let's get started. Someone mentioned lag. Is anyone else experiencing that before I get going? Looks okay on my end. I'm not seeing any drop frames. And the YouTube preview looks okay. No lag here. Okay. Sorry, Shane, the pain looks like a you problem for this one. It buffered for a sec. Okay. Yeah, if any of you guys experience like significant like freezing or big lags, definitely let the chat know so that we can kind of test with everyone else and see if anybody else has it. Okay. Welcome, Nick. Just as we're getting started with the first quote-unquote real attempt against Nemesis. But I think if there is buffering, it's probably YouTube side maybe, because I'm pretty sure like buffer is almost like whenever I see dropped frames on my streaming software, that always corresponds to like real lag or buffering, and I'm not seeing anything here, so it might just be a bit of a YouTube thing, not sure. But yeah. In terms of buffering, there's literally nothing I think I can do. Okay, I'm gonna get started. If the buffering gets worse or if it starts to really like freeze up and stuff, definitely let me know. Okay. Hey Andrea, welcome to the stream. And Marcio too. Hope you get that platinum soon. So since we literally have nothing else to do, I might as well just get going with this. Well, it's going to be a waste actually. I'm not going to use up our overdrive, so we're just going to wait with Riku, honestly. And with these guys, we're going to start to attack. Oh no, we don't have Carithian for the Armageddon counter. We're screwed. We'll do our best. I always thought these premieres were just videos launching at a certain time. It's actually live gameplay. Yeah, it's difficult. I still think YouTube needs to signal what a premiere is a little better. Like it can be a bit confusing to know what a premiere is versus what a live stream is, but yeah, if anything has like the premiere thing on it and has like a countdown, it has me literally typing in the chat. That's always the biggest indicator. I don't type in the chat if I'm actually live streaming, unless like something's happened and the stream's gone down or something. But yeah, this one is a live stream. Okay, so first move, Ethereal Cannon. So this means that basically now we need to make sure we have Hyper Mighty Guard. Because the next turn could be Ultra Spark. So nice criticals there. Are your Masters Challenge videos on Friday live? No, those ones are not. So the Friday Masters Challenge ones are, they are premieres. So they're pre-recorded videos that I'm airing, and I'm often in the chat joining you guys for them. But they're not live. Okay, so let's mix our first Hyper Mighty Guard. Let's see how we do. There's that Ultra Spark. Yeah, you're right, James. We should be aiming for victory always. So I think for the Armageddon counter, this is where I get a bit unsure sometimes, because the next move in the chain is attack. So it can either do attack as part of the chain, or I think it can just do attack as a normal one. And I'm not sure you can tell the difference in real time. Let's see if Carithian can tell. Or he has a way of knowing which one is which. So now what we're going to do, basically what we know is he's not going to use Ultra Spark again. And it's way too early for Armageddon, so we know that it's safe to just heal for now, for example. So we don't need to immediately rush to get auto life back on everybody here. So there comes an attack. So this is either another +2 or a +3. And I'm not sure if there's a way to instantly know. Six or 7. Okay, so you can't tell right now. You kind of have to retroactively see what the next move is, and then you'll know from there. But yeah, for now, basically every time Riku gets a turn, we're just going to try and keep the HP high for Waka and Tidus so they do maximum damage. And so this is pretty much the loop, with the challenge being you have to be careful to know when Armageddon is going to happen. So that's the general That's the general gist. So now, for example, Riku basically has nothing to do. So just gonna have to wait. If you really wanted to optimize, you should have made Riku have basically the same kind of stats as Waka and Tidus, but for now I'm keeping the same stats. Like I committed to these stats once. I'm trying to see if I can get through everything by keeping the same stats. So 6 or 7, Ethereal Cannon comes in. This is another +2. Okay. No, now it's definitely 8 because yeah. So I think Coryphean will probably do a better job of explaining why it's definitely 8 and not 8 or 9. And so once again, the threat of Ultra Spark is back. So we have to just be careful here and make sure we get it mixed again. Okay, Rhoda, see you soon. So almost 1 million damage done already. Well, it will be 1 million after this one. Nice. So there we go. Now we are up to 10. Okay. Again, we're not anywhere near Armageddon, and there won't be an Ultra Spark, so we can just heal again. Let's keep going. Okay. So that's 12 or 13 now, I think. I think in general, you don't have to know it perfectly. As long as you're close, it should be enough. Okay. I think this is 14 now. Coryphean's gone silent, just as he was about to explain. I think he's been roped in with work stuff. So once again, we need to heal up. So is there anyone else in the chat right now that knows these mechanics and is able to help keep track of the counter? I'm curious. Because this stuff, like, it's truly niche knowledge. You almost never need to know this stuff unless you are really doing like high-level challenge stuff or you're modding the game and that kind of thing. So I do think it's pretty obscure. There's not going to be too many people that, without like actually looking it up and studying it and learning how it works, would be able to just follow along naturally. I think I'd said 14 last. I'm already going to start losing track here. Okay, so that's 17 now. So I think the chain got interrupted there. So that's not good. I think that's 17. Let me think. We should still be fine. 17. I'm going to throw on another... another Hyper Mighty Guard, because we're still waiting for Ultra Spark to happen next. So I think the counter's at 19 right now, and not 20. Yeah, it definitely can go Armageddon after Ultra Spark. It's definitely possible. It just depends like what order of turns it's used. It's definitely possible. So I think just to cover that eventuality, I think we're on 19, but I could be wrong. Hey Grey Jade and Licky Kitty, welcome to the stream. So now we're on low HP. This isn't going to work so well. Yeah, so it's going to be an attack next. That's for sure. It's either going to be attack if I'm right and it is 19, or it's going to be Armageddon if I haven't been keeping track properly and it's already hit 20. So we're going to find out very soon. Welcome to stream, Dan, by the way. Good to see you. See what happens. So yeah, okay, I kept track. That was right. And so now we know 100% that Armageddon should be coming next. But Riku does not have a full overdrive. So basically, I hedged my bets there in case I was wrong. I used the Hyper Mighty Guard, and this is basically how you can lose this fight. If you're not too confident in yourself and you start to use it too early, and Riku ends up without an overdrive and there's less than 3 people that have auto life and that kind of thing, it can start to get a little bit problematic. But we do have an ace in the hole, and due to this particular randomizer set, Waka has auto life. Now, it's true, he doesn't have the MP, but what we do have is 3 stars. So we can use the 3 stars. So we just have enough turns to get this in before Armageddon happens. I think you can still manage if only 2 of your characters have auto life. I don't think you instantly like lose the battle, but it puts you in a very bad position. You see, thanks to that, now we're back on track still. I think we're still okay here. But if I was confident in my counting, and I knew that it was 19, like 100%, then I wouldn't have needed to do all of that, and I could have just kept on doing damage. There you go. Okay, so that's how you do it. Hey Chris, thank you for the comment. I'm at the point where I've got 255 in all but luck, and my god, it's not fun getting the luck and the fortune items. I totally agree. It's definitely not very fun at all. No, the whole Nemesis will do Armageddon after his 5th attack. I think you might be mixing it up with Omega Weapon and Nova. I think that's closer to how Omega Weapon works. And so now the only other thing, again, this fight is all about tracking. If you're not tracking everything carefully, you're going to get screwed. What can happen here is that if it used an ethereal cannon and then it used Armageddon, it could do Armageddon and then Ultra Spark immediately afterwards. And so that's another way that you can get wiped out if you're not ready for it. So we need to be very careful, but I'm pretty sure it didn't use Ultra Spark, and it didn't use Ethereal Cannon before it, I think. Basically, the thing is, you could say, well, why don't you just do Hyper Mighty Guard anyway? Who cares? The reason is just because at the end of the day, you can. The more you use it when you don't need to. So if the next turn is not going to be Ultra Spark or Armageddon, if you start using it when you don't need to, you're going to have people being picked off by the normal attacks, and there's a chance Riku might not have an overdrive, and so you're going to start to really get out of sync, and it's going to make life much harder. So it's always better to try and only do it when you know that the right turn is coming up afterwards. So let's have a look. We need to start counting again though for the new set. Right. I think that might be a +3 to start. So here we just keep going. Yeah, it does start fresh from 0. Hey Danny, welcome to stream. See you. So still should be no risk of seeing Ultra Spark at this point. Yeah, okay. So this should be 5 now. Thank you, Fritz, for helping me keep count. Appreciate that. So now we definitely need to make sure we get that Hyper Mighty G on there. And this is exactly why we kind of sort the items to leave it near the top. Just makes life much easier. So there it is. It should be 7. Yeah, super cool. As I said, the only time you're not safe in that scenario is if it used Ethereal Cannon and then Armageddon, because then there's a good chance that Ultra Spark will happen next. So you have to be very careful. So we're continuing to chip away. We're already at about 3 million damage here. It's worked out pretty well so far. Okay. Now we can just wait. Yeah, so it was a 2. I think it should be 11 now. Is it 12? If it uses 2 attacks back to back, I think it means that one was part of the chain and the other one was a +3. So one was a +2 and one was a +3. Yeah, so I think 12 might be right. +2, +2. Yeah, I think Fritz is following it correctly. Fritz, I'm going to trust you. I think you know what you're doing. More than I do. Okay. With me, I can't tell after the Ultra Spark, when it uses a physical attack, I can't tell if it's +2 or +3. And then if it does 2 attacks in a row, I would have thought it's going to do that one. But Fritz knows their stuff. We'll stick with it. Yeah, so this is what I mean by it's not easy to track. So Fritz said it's cannon next, but it was another attack. So I think it's cannon next if it does it as part of the chain. Cariphian's art account. But basically this still means that there isn't a risk of Ultra Spark. So I think we should be at 15 now, right? Yeah. This is much easier to do when you're on your own, and honestly, like if you're struggling to track, you should literally just use like a pen and paper or something just to make sure you're keeping up here. 15 and the cannon next if not a random attack. Yes, that should be correct. Getting some good criticals in here. Okay, there's that ethereal cannon. So it should be up to 17 now. Yep, okay. So we'll just heal here so that Waka gets maximum damage from his hit. So this is where things get a little ropey. You need to be a bit careful for this bit. Okay. Nope. So super cool. As I say, it's not as simple as you think. There's always a randomized element. Basically, the way that the mechanics work for Nemesis, it can throw in a regular attack during any turn, unless it's guaranteed to already use Armageddon. It will throw in a regular attack. There's a 33% chance that it does so, basically. So, yeah. So the counter should be 20 now, but I believe it should be equal to or greater than 20. That's what the Ultimate Companion Guide says. So if it's at the number 20 specifically, it should also use Armageddon. So I believe Armageddon should be the next turn. Yeah, so you can never be 100% sure. If you see Ethereal Cannon, that doesn't mean... no, the counter's 20, not 21. Yeah, so if you see Ethereal Cannon, it means there's a 66% chance it uses Ultra Spark, and there's a 33% chance that it uses just another regular attack that's not part of that decision chain. So yeah, it can get confusing, for sure. It's going to use Ultra Spark after Armageddon. It very well might. It very well might. So, I think I'll keep Riku's Overdrive here. I think. So I'll do the same thing. Obviously, Waka's 3 stars has run out. But I want to keep Riku's overdrive full here. So this was a bit of a difficult kind of chain of turns here. Okay. So for anyone following along, the counter should be 20. And instead of Ultra Spark, it should be using Armageddon. But then, after Armageddon, it should either be using Ultra Spark or it should be using a physical attack. So let's see if we've managed to kind of keep up and get this right. As we near halfway. So it did use Ultra Spark. Okay. So that means then that there's maybe a mistake. Either we counted wrong, or there's a mistake in the Ultimate Companion Guide. Because it literally says, is the counter equal or greater than 20? So, yeah, we'll need Coryphean to clear that up. Yeah, so either the counter is 21 or we counted wrong. It's very rare for P-Birdman to make a mistake, but maybe that's the case. So we'll keep that in mind. And when Coryphean's back, we'll have a chance to clear that up. But now, what we do know is definitely that Armageddon is coming next. Ultra Armageddon. Can you imagine it had a move called Ultra Armageddon and it disabled Auto Live as well? If you used it too many times, it's like, that's enough. I'm just going to use Ultra Armageddon now and finish this off. But let's prepare for Armageddon. So this was a difficult set of turns here. But on low HP, you'll see how little damage we do here. 38. Okay, that was a crit though. It should have been about 19. Yeah. Okay, there we go. At least now we know there's absolutely zero risk of an Ultra Spark for a little while, so we should be okay. Mod is making Ultra Armageddon with this idea, double cast Armageddon. That's funny. Yeah, pretty much the only thing that you can guarantee in this fight is that after Ultra Spark is used, it's going to use a physical attack if it's not using Armageddon. So we know like 100% now the next move will be an attack, but we don't know which one it's going to be. Is it going to be the +2 or the +3? That's why when you're counting, you'll see like, you know, it's going to be a +2 or a +3. Okay. So we're still alive. But we have slowed down a little bit. Obviously, depending on how the turns go, you can get slowed a little bit here. So there's that physical attack. So right now, it's a +2 or a +3. Yeah, so Frit's doing a stellar job of keeping score here. Again, there's no risk of Ultra Spark right now. We haven't seen Ethereal Cannon, so we can just keep going. Now we have. So I think that guarantees that it was a +2, right? Because it did Ultra Spark, Attack, and then Ethereal Cannon. I think that means it was definitely a 2. Yes, okay. That makes sense. So now, once again, it has a chance of using Ultra Spark or a physical attack. But Ultra Spark is the more likely one. Yeah, there it comes. So 6. Okay. Finally going to bring it. Well, not quite. Thought we're going to bring it below half, but not yet. Okay. So that's an 8 or 9. Hey, Emily. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. We are deep into a difficult battle against Nemesis, where we're having to use all of our knowledge of how this guy works. Nice. Hey Lou, welcome to the stream as well. Yeah, it's rare you have to do this much tracking, but definitely is one of the main things that kind of differentiates you know, regular fights from much harder fights. Okay. So I think we're still good here. We haven't seen an ethereal cannon yet, right? I was just having a look at the chat. Pretty sure we're safe to continue here. We don't need a Hyper Mighty Guard. Yeah, cannon next. Okay. Cool. Let's wait. Yep. So when Fritz says cannon next, he means like the next one from the Decision 1 chain is going to be Ethereal Cannon. Welcome to the Shoepuff Riders, Lou. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we can't always rely on Carithian to do all the heavy lifting in the chat when it comes to technical stuff. So for now, we've caught a nice chain. Like, we're not having to kind of hold back here. We can continue to just keep doing damage. This is going pretty well. Okay, there's that ethereal cannon that we've been waiting for. Yes. Well, I would say Nemesis has like a semi-random attack pattern. If you want to see it properly, it's best to reference the Ultimate Companion Guide or any... Maybe the wiki these days has it, I don't know. It's a difficult one to just explain verbally. Okay. So where it potentially gets annoying here is, as Fritz says, you're expecting the next one from the decision chain is supposed to be Ultra Spark, so 66% that happens. But there's also the chance it does a physical attack, and it might just do like 3 physical attacks in a row, and then do Armageddon, and then things will get annoying. So we'll see. It doesn't depend on the turns, it's just basically every single turn it takes. It has a 66% chance to use something it calls Decision 1, where it's like a chain of 3 moves that it loops. Or there's a 33% chance it does a regular plane attack. But the way that kind of fits in, it just takes a little bit of time and experience to track. But I think Fritz has given a pretty decent breakdown of it there. Does Armageddon remove auto life? Thankfully not. If it did, then this would have been a very different fight. But thankfully it doesn't. I love donuts. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you as always. Okay. So once again, at the moment, we're safe. We don't need to panic and throw in another Hyper Mighty Guard. Because as Fritz says, we're on 15 right now. So we still have a little bit of time left. Okay. That's 17 or 18. Is Nemesis killable on no sphere grid? Yes, actually he is. That's one thing I was kind of hoping, like praying someday that I would have been able to do, because obviously to legitimately fight Nemesis in no sphere grid, you need to defeat Shinryu in no sphere grid. And no sphere grid Shinryu it's like orders of magnitude more difficult in terms of the luck than say like no sphere grid Dark Animal or something like that. And so basically you're never going to be able to fight Nemesis legitimately, but I think what we might do in the future is I'll still do a no sphere grid Nemesis fight anyway, just to show you guys. Pretty certain it can be done. Andrea, thank you for gifting a membership. Marco, welcome back to the Shoepuff Riders. Most of the Dark Aeons are a lot easier than Nemesis, right? I would say so. Yeah, I think so. Crystal, welcome to stream. Who says math wouldn't be useful after high school? Yes, indeed. Pretty much the only math I've used since university has basically been on like Final Fantasy X mechanics videos. Okay, so literally 17 or 18, so we should be okay here. We don't need to do anything yet. We've got at least one more attack. We'll wait. Okay, so now should be 19 or 20. Basically for this one, yeah, 20, sorry, I said 19 and 20, I meant 20 or 21. This is one of those where this is difficult to know what's going to happen next, so we have to cover our asses by basically still doing a Hyper Mighty Guard anyway. So that's what we're going to do. Don't leave it up to chance. Let's see. What happens now? Armageddon. Okay, it was the right call. Our team may just win because of us. I think we might take the entire session just fighting Nemesis for this one. But it's a worthy battle. Nemesis always a big milestone in any playthrough. Hey Toby, welcome to chat. Good to see you as always. Yes, indeed. I've been very fortunate to have an opportunity once again to go to Japan. 5 years after the first time I visited. I'm very much looking forward to it. So it should be cannon next, or a normal attack. So I think we can go once again. 3.7 million left. I think we're doing pretty well. Alright, good stuff. Hey Tanya, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. When will I be going? I'm going next week on Thursday. And I'll be there for about 2 weeks. There's that ethereal cannon. Cotillionaire 2, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Many of the community regulars showing out as always. Love to see it. Okay, but especially now, need to stay focused as the chat gets busier. Because Ultra Spark is indeed coming next. Nope, so there's that 33% chance that it doesn't use it. So that's should be 7 now. I think in these situations I still prefer to keep Riku's Overdrive, honestly. So I'd rather just do it like this. Make use of that randomizer, eh? Why not? Okay. Good criticals there. I mean, I have been saying it's basically turned into like an own sphere grid run. And for the most part it is. But at least with Waka using auto life, there's at least one little slice of randomizer in there. So again, we're waiting for Ultra Spark, or he's going to do another physical attack. See? Okay, this time it happens. Who's got quick hit on the grid? Oh, good question. I think... Was it Yuna? We can have a quick check. Or was it Lulu? I don't remember. Yeah, it was Lulu, actually. But remember, we primed her for magic use. And she did some really good work in the last session. But right now, she has absolutely no strength, so we can't really use her for quick hits, unfortunately. Okay. So, where are we at now? The counter is 9. We should be okay for a while. I still want to see a mod where Kimari is the VIP. To be honest, I think it's happened a little bit already in Karifian's mod, and there definitely was a section of the P Birdman mod where I did use Kimari as well. I think having him be the star of the show is always going to be a bit hard, I mean. But there is a challenge called the Own Sphere Grid Kimari Only Challenge, which was one that featured like some incredibly innovative strategies to get towards the end of. So if you want to see Kimari be the star of the show, like that's a very tailor-made challenge for him to do just that. Yeah, true. He is, especially in the Masters mod, he's definitely a bit more of a caster. Need to remember he has Flare as well. So I think that makes it 13. Let's see what Fritz says. Yeah, okay. So we're still in sync. Still going strong. Good crit. Yeah, we're trying our best to avoid the standard Final Fantasy X battle theme for copyright reasons. And Karifian made a nice mod for us to basically carry on the area music into battles. It's a bit hit and miss in the monster arena, but when it works, it saves me a lot of potential headache, so it's nice. Honestly, I've kind of been enjoying not having a battle theme. It's mostly just because obviously I've spent so much time playing the game over the years, but it's not been as jarring as I thought. It's kind of nice. Imagine editing out the music in a 2-hour battle. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I just really didn't want to do. So I think that's why in the last session, it was just so stop-start that I didn't want to edit out the battle theme 10 times, so I just kind of gave up. Okay. See where we're at. Okay, Ultra Spark. This was a good move for us, I think. That overdrive's coming right back. Yeah, we do have a regular attack next, so we don't need to do anything. This has worked out pretty well, I think. But it's going to be 20 or 21 again, I guess. So we're going to have to do the same thing we did last time and just cover ourselves. Yeah, when you have everybody with auto life, Ultra Spark is just fine. So yeah, it should be 20 or 21, so again, it's a little bit of a difficult one, but we have to hedge our bets anyway. Welcome to the stream, Law. Good to see you. It's a shame the notification didn't pop for you. It's always one of those ongoing issues that us as content creators, there's just nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. If you guys don't get notified, that's always a shame. Trying to bring it under 2 million here. See what it does. Okay, there's that Armageddon. I still think it's a 20 counter. I still trust P Birdman on that. I do think maybe that one time maybe we counted it wrong. Yeah, I think with the copyright music stuff, I have to imagine it's obviously a lot of people trying to upload the soundtracks, and so there's a lot of channels that have uploaded. Oh well, yeah. Karifin also confirmed that it is 20. We were debating whether it was 20 or 21, but I guess we did miscount that first time. But yeah, in terms of what's this? Cannon should be next if that's the case, but I think it will be attack. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I think the people uploading just like pure soundtracks, I think obviously, especially like further back in the day, maybe they were just purely trying to monetize it and just gain revenue from purely just uploading like the tracks by themselves, like the discs and all that kind of stuff. And that stuff's obviously a lot more sketchy. And so I think they probably initially wanted to clamp down more on people trying to do that kind of thing, just trying to monetize just uploads of the soundtracks in isolation by themselves. But I think due to the systems in place, I think they probably didn't have a good enough way to do it, so they had a very kind of heavy-handed approach where anytime it's heard in anything, it just flags it up automatically. And then it kind of leaves it up to the content creator to have to appeal and deal with it and explain what it is for and all that kind of stuff. So it puts the onus on the content creator to kind of... it's basically guilty until proven innocent, really. That's kind of the system, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. I can't change it. Okay, there's our spark. Nemesis is still easier than encountering 9 enemies in Final Fantasy 1. Especially those that can cause poison. Oh, yes. No, we are not going to do that. I don't even know how much damage Waka would do on an overdrive, like how much each hit of attack reels would do. So I think we're going to grind it down all the way until the end here. The battle's taken long enough as it is. I'm not planning to speed it up now. I'm still doing fine. Yeah, I'm not sure what the safe number is to use Waka's overdrive, so I'd rather not do anything. At least I can say I did it without attack reels. To be fair, I still think I don't have Tidus's overdrive. I really need to get that. Okay, yet another one. Spamming the attacks. Excellent. We now have 2 people in the chat tracking the counter. I can just kick back and relax now. Spiral cut only challenge, yeah. I think still we don't really need to do anything. That we still haven't seen Ethereal Cannon, right? Unless I completely lost track and the last turn was Ethereal Cannon. I think we should be okay. Yeah, I think the fact that they're saying 9 or 10 means it wasn't... Yeah. I think once you see the cannon, then you know which number it is. Damn, it's really going after those attacks. This is a bit of an interesting RNG sequence here. Today, only Nemesis. I mean, if I can hold on here and not make any big mistakes, we should clear Nemesis here. And then can move on to Dark Aeons. So, the final million. to go, basically. It's been an interesting set here. A lot of back-to-back attacks. There it is, finally. Francisco really testing out the Fritz's Carufian's alter count theory. Okay, let's do this first. $816,000. Good crit. Okay, there's that Ultra Spark. I'll stick with counter to 20. Okay. So now we should be safe here. Yeah, Carufian, you should take notes. This is how you make a real game. None of this withered bouquet shenanigans. Okay, so that should be... yeah, 18 or 19. So it means we're safe for another turn. We're very close now. Did you want Flint instead? I think if we at least got both, you could say that, well, he gave us the ingredients to make fire. Couldn't even make a measly fire. Okay, very close now. There it is. But yeah, we will definitely see Armageddon on this turn. Unfortunately, we don't have enough firepower to take it out, I think, before the next turn, so we kind of need to just make sure we... I think we survive the Armageddon here. Oh, okay, maybe now. Maybe now, but just in case. We might have a tiny bit of HP left, but we'll see. 116. Nah, okay. There you go. Should be the final blow here. Oh! That was very close. I think it almost survived. But there you go. Whew! That took like an hour. Whew. That's it. Session's over. I plan to just potentially do Nemesis for the whole session. We're ahead of schedule. That's it for today. Whew.